Well, it's fair to say that relations between the UK and Albania have been a bit fraught in recent months, with thousands of young Albanians crossing the Channel last year and accusations that they're coming for economic reasons. But on a visit to meet Rishi Sunak yesterday, Albania's Prime Minister said he wants all Albanians to feel safe and honoured here in the UK. And I'm pleased to say that the Albanian Prime Minister, Rama, joins me now. A very good morning to you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your talks with the Prime Minister, with Rishi Sunak yesterday. What was the main message that you wanted to put across to him?
Of course, the British-Albanian relations are of a very highly strategic importance, and they touched the lowest point in history since we have come out of communism, because of that rhetoric that has put all the Albanian community in Britain under a very, very heavy pressure. But in the meantime, while I made, I think, clearly the point about the rhetoric, our relation is not at all just about that. It's about much more. And we had a very constructive meeting with the Prime Minister. And I must say that both on the side of what has been important to him to tackle the criminal networks, and on the side of what is important for both on building up a very, very strong relation, we have made important progress. And I must say that finally, on the side of Downing Street, we have been heard, and there is not any more only words, but also deeds in putting together in place a joint task force to crack down the criminal networks, which is, of course, something Albania has always wanted, and we have always been keen to cooperate with Britain.
You talked about the rhetoric that you were unhappy about. You particularly commented on Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary's language. You called it disgraceful. So tell us a little bit about what it was that you objected to and what you think that did to relations.
Listen, I think I've made my point very clear, and I don't want to repeat it again and again, because it would be not right vis-à-vis the much broader picture and the much deeper relation between Albania and Britain. And it would not be also fair, let's say, to insist on that while we are having very important signs of regret and of embarrassment that are, let's say, enough at this point. I hope very much that this will not be repeated anymore, and that the Albanian community here will be really honored for what it is. Because one thing is to put in the spot under the spot of the attention the boats and the criminals and all that is disturbing. But the other thing is to never forget that Albanians here are doing great, and they are helping and contributing for Britain to be a better place. Yesterday, I got out of the hotel with the people that take care of my security, and I hear from the sky, Eddie, 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 and I am looking up, and there was a construction site, and there were 3 people on the top dressed as constructing workers that were all the 3 Albanians. So Albanians here are working in construction companies, Albanians here are nursing your elderly people, Albanians here are cooking, so improving the British kitchen, I must say, and they are even singing to you. So let alone the academics and the students, and it has been so unfair to them to put them under such a pressure, but at the same time, they are a very strong base to build something very important.
So you really want to stress the important role that Albanians play in our communities, but there is concern about the number who are arriving in small boats, which no doubt you discussed with the Prime Minister. Albanians made up 28% of small boat arrivals last year. How concerned are you about that?
Listen, it's a trend in all the countries that have come out of the dark period of communism and that are trying to catch up with what has always been our horizon, looking to the developed countries. And you cannot stop young people dream and hope. So because, okay, Albania is one case, but there are other cases. For example, Croatia. Croatia today is fully integrated in the European Union. It's a country that has done very important progress. And still, you know, you have so many Croatians, professionals, youngsters moving towards Ireland or moving towards Germany because they want to get something more and to get it now. So this is something that also is connected with the fact that everyone knows, and these kids that are coming from Albania, they know that in Britain there is a lot of need for construction workers. There is a lot of need for taxi drivers, for truck drivers, for nurses. So it's also about this, and you know, I'm not here to question the sovereignty and the mandate of the British government to have a policy on the borders and to want to be close towards the fluxes that are attempting Britain to get a job. But this is all what it is about. It's about economic reasons, coming, getting a job, and building a future in a place that has always been the shining city on the hill.
Well, yes, and Albania was the top nationality claiming asylum as well last year. Less than half of them were granted asylum, and you have got a deal, haven't you?
They claim asylum because there is no other way. They are not part of the free labor market, which, for example, is not the case for Croatians, or is not the case for Romanians or for Bulgarians and so on. Then, on the other hand, because of Brexit, you know that some disruptions have happened and you have lost a lot of workforce from these countries. So it's all about dreaming and hoping to get what they imagine best for their life now, and without waiting for many more years that this might happen in Albania.
Well, yes, but when they apply for asylum, a lot of them aren't getting it. Around half, I think, fail in their applications. And you do have a deal with Britain to send those back. How is that operating?
Listen, we have had a rise. We have had a rise in numbers in 2015 when the large refugee crisis hit Europe, and it was a moment that a lot of Albanians went towards Germany. And while we fixed with Germany this safe origin country category, the numbers went down. So making asylum less accessible for people that are not really coming because they have political reasons, or because they are persecuted in their country, or because they are living a war, but they are using asylum to just get the possibility to stay here and work, is one of the ways. And Britain is doing it now. So this is one. Second, we have to crack down the networks which are international, are not Albanian networks, are international. And that's why it's very important to separate the fight against crime with ethnic groups that cannot be labeled as feeding the crime world. And on the other hand, it's about having a visa system that give access to people to apply in a regular manner and to be processed without taking the channel, coming here to work and coming here to offer their skills. So this is a combination of factors that is slowly getting in place, and I'm sure that that this issue will be solved. But I'm not sure that closing the borders and not letting people come in is the best for the British economy. But this is not for me to decide. It's for the British people.
OK, well, Edi Rama, we appreciate you coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you.
Do drop by again and let us know the progress that you're making and with your relations with the UK as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. I hope to welcome the Prime Minister in Albania. This is the first time that an Albanian Prime Minister come to Britain officially, but we have not yet had a Prime Minister coming to Albania officially in our history. Tony Blair visited, but it was because of the Kosovo war, and hopefully we'll have a Prime Minister of yours coming, and we'll have you interviewing us from Tirana.
That sounds like a good plan. When might that be?
I don't know.
I don't know. My diary.
I don't know. I hope that we are not going to wait for another Prime Minister to get the British Prime Minister in Tirana.
OK, well, Edi Rama, good to see you. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.